mess it up that bad unless you're
enough of an expert in that you don't need to script things word for word. Because usually talking through bullet points, you're more confident on camera, you're more comfortable doing it, and it takes a lot less time than scripting videos word for word. So what I realized for myself is that if I wanted to be consistent with making YouTube videos, especially when I had a day job, is that I could not script them word for word. I tried, but it would take me like 12 hours to script a video. And then I'd be trying to read it off a teleprompter, and then it would be a total shit show, and I'd be like, oh, I'm stumbling over my words. And so if I just removed that requirement to script things word for word, and I just thought about bullet points, then that made all the difference. So number one is no scripting. No scripting. Number two is that there is a magic number of things to say in a video, and that magic number is 3. Back in the day, and even to this day, I still feel the need to say more than 3 things in the video. I still feel like, I need to say 9 things, or 11, or 13, or 17 things to make this video worthwhile, because I have all this imposter syndrome. What I realized over time is that the audience cannot take in 17 different pieces of information. 3, at an absolute stretch, 4 or 5, is a good sweet spot. So now when I'm thinking about making a video, once I figured out what the title and thumbnail and hook is, I think, okay, if I had to only say 3 things, what are the 3 things that I would say for this video? And I'm going to show you exactly what my script writing process is. So in the chat, can you give me a video title? And I'll pick a random video title, and I will show you exactly what the process looks like of how I would turn that into a YouTube video. How to raise your self-worth. Amanda Williver. Okay, that's actually good. I've never done a video about how to raise your self-worth. So let's see what this process would look like. Okay, we start off with a concept, which is sort of something about self-worth going up. Now I need to think about title, thumbnail, and hook. So how to raise your self-worth. What I'm thinking about is that, is this really the best framing for this topic? So this is literally the process that me and my team go through. How to raise your self-worth. What I'm doing is I'm doing some title and thumbnail research. And I'm figuring out, okay, does this video have, like, what is the framing of this video that would make this have the best chance of getting views? So, okay, so we've got self-esteem from Psych to Go. Ooh, watch this if you're struggling with your self-worth. 1.2 million views. That seems promising. Psych to Go is a very big YouTube channel, so like, I'm going to take that with a bit of a pinch of salt. How to improve your self-esteem. 500k on Jay Shetty's video, struggling with low self-esteem. Essentially, I'll just go through YouTube and I'll think, okay, other than the title of how to raise your self-worth, is there a better way of framing this video? Is it about self-esteem? Is it about self-worth? Is it about not caring what other people think? Is it about how to be more confident in yourself? Could I frame a video about self-worth?
valt zoveel te doen in 100 uur. Maar last hebben van een droge huid? Geen tijd voor. Met de nieuwe Mineral 89 rijke crème zonder parfum van Vichy. Verrijkt met miljoenen mineralen. Vormt een barrière op de huid voor bescherming en hydratatie tot 100 uur lang. Mineral 89 rijke crème zonder parfum. Vichy, uw huid weerspiegelt ook uw gezondheid. Rijst van Tilda. Een wereld vol smaak. Klaar in 2 minuten.
Based on confidence. This is sort of the thought process because, one of the things that I've really realized about YouTube over time is that 80% of the value is in these 2 things. Literally 80%. It's the concept, the title, and the thumbnail, and the hook. If you can get this stuff right, it massively increases your chances of this video potentially going big and potentially growing your channel. Which is why it's worth not just going with the first title that comes to mind, how to raise your self-worth, but to think about what are the different alternative framings of this title that I could potentially do. Okay, so as I look at these view counts, what I'm seeing is that something around confidence seems to be getting more views than something around self-worth. I can still make a video about self-worth, but the packaging of the video is just in the initial framing of it. So if I were just thinking about this out loud, how might I know I want to do a video about self-worth. And if I can frame it in the language of confidence, what might that look like? This is literally what we go through when we do our thingies. Now we think, okay, cool. What's point number 1? What's point number 2? And what's point number 3? Okay, so if I were doing this video, how to raise your self-worth or how to become more confident, I would be point number 1 would be get out of your own way, where I would say something about most of the blockers that hold us back are internal blockers. We think that it's actually external circumstances, but actually it's internal blockers. That's point number 1. The next thing I'm going to say is that competence equals confidence. So it's very hard to have high self-worth if you've never done anything interesting, some might say. I don't really believe in the sort of you should just love yourself as you are. I believe in it in that it's a great thing to aspire to. I think most of us find it very hard to just spontaneously love ourselves as we are without any evidence. So competence equals confidence equals evidence. And the third thing I would say is affirmations or something. I actually think affirmations are great. Affirmations and mantras. These are the only three things I'm saying in this video. The video is about how to raise your self-worth or how to be confident or something like that. I'll finalize the title. Get out of your own way. Confidence equals confidence. Affirmations and mantras are like a nice thing to do. Then I have a video creation framework that's called the HIES framework. H stands for hook, I stands for intro, V stands for value, and ES stands for end screen sales pitch. At the end of your videos, we don't want to hear any of this bullshit that's like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. As soon as the audience gets even a whiff that the video is about to end, they will click off the video. So we need an end screen sales pitch. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, you're going to love this video over here where I break down in more detail exactly how to be more confident when you're feeling awkward in social situations. So check out that video right over here. That's the end screen. No, alright guys, this was a really hard video to make. I really appreciate all the love I'm getting, all the support I'm getting from you guys. Oh man, I just love reading the comments. It's so nice. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. Blah, 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 blah. People are just going to turn off and you'll see your end screen retention absolutely plummet. We want an end screen sales pitch. We want a hook. To me, the hook is just the promise. I think with educational content, hooks are easy enough. The Think Media YouTube channel actually does a really good job of hooks. We often use Think Media's YouTube channel as a thing, as an example when we teach sessions for our own YouTuber Academy. Because you guys do a really good job of, I remember one of Omar's videos was, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the perfect studio setup with a budget with under $100. Let's get into it. It's like, oh, that's a nice hook. Omar Eldakori is telling me exactly what I'm getting in this video. Because essentially, when someone clicks on the title and thumbnail, what we're doing is we're creating an expectation in the viewer's mind. So the Think Media video of how to set up your studio with under $100, I click on that video expecting to learn how to set up a studio for under $100. Now with educational content, I can get away with my hook basically just being the title of the video. So if my title of the video is how to raise your self-worth or how to be more confident, in this video, I'm going to share my top 3 tips for how you can be more confident. Easy. That's a hook. That's the promise. We don't need to overthink it. The nice thing about educational channels, we don't need to do, oh my god guys, in this video, we're going to give $1 million to the person who's got the highest self-confidence, and we're going to go on a trip, and we're also going to do this, and we're also going to do... That sort of stuff is kind of necessary in the world of entertainment. Thankfully, it's not massively necessary in the world of education if what you have to say is sufficiently valuable. Oh, by the way, if you are enjoying this video, then you're probably the sort of person who get a lot of value from the Part-Time YouTuber Academy. This is my online course and community that we've been building for the last 4 years. We've got thousands of students from all around the world, and the idea is that we'll teach you everything that me and my team have learned about how to build a multi-million subscriber, multi-million-dollar YouTube channel. But also, we're going to give you the systems, the processes, the tools, the templates, so you can literally just copy and paste them into your own system. And you'll be part of this online community. We do regular online workshops. We share a lot of stuff. My team's always in the circle community, responding to people and sharing useful stuff. And we also do in real life meetups at various points throughout the year, so you might like to see all of those. Anyway, if any of that sounds good, you might like to check out the Part-Time YouTuber Academy link down below. Next up, we have an intro. Now, the intro is optional, but if there's only one thing that you take away from this talk, I would recommend you figure out what your intro would be. You don't have to include an intro in every video, but I personally think it's a good idea. An intro is who are you and why should the audience care? In my humble opinion, the point of the intro is to explain who you are, welcome the audience to your channel, and give them a sense of your credibility. Like, why should they give a shit that you are the one making this video? Audiences are paying for your video. They're not paying with the dollars, they're paying with their time and their attention, which is even more valuable than money. So, what is it about you that is deserving of their time and attention? You can do that within your intro. So, for example, for me, 7 years ago, I started making videos aimed at medical school applicants in the UK. And so I would say, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ali. I'm a final year medical student at Cambridge University. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to do your interview prep if you're applying to med school. The fact that I'm a final year medical student at Cambridge University.
Talent is the magic word when it comes to building a thriving international team of professionals. But managing talent globally can be like herding unicorns on the moon from your office, blindfolded. It's not easy. The most effective and resilient organizations simply have the best talent, whether it's next door or across oceans. So why not look beyond your borders? Breaking down barriers between you and your team is what we do best. We were born in the heart of Europe to tackle the problem of talent shortage, one hire at a time. We help EU companies hire skilled talent in more than 160 countries. We're tech enablers, legal experts, and people specialists, all under one virtual roof. Let us take care of the details, like local contracts, custom benefits, allowances, PTOs, and employee expenses, so you can focus on building a great organization. You don't need to be here, or here to craft a powerful, flexible, and diverse team. You just need, well,
Is a massive flex, and it's social proof and it's credibility, and it's like, oh, this guy knows his stuff. That's why he's talking about this. It is so much easier to grow a YouTube channel when you actually have some real world credibility for the thing that you're trying to teach in the world of education. Yes, you could be a 17-year-old life coach if you really want to, but it's very hard to grow a YouTube channel as a 17-year-old life coach. So for example, self-worth and confidence. Here is what I would do. Hook. In this video, we're going to talk about my top 3 tips for raising your self-worth so that you can be more confident in any situation. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ali. I'm a doctor turned entrepreneur, and I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller, Feel Good Productivity, Flex Flex. You know, I've been making YouTube videos now for 7 years, and in that time, I've made over 900 YouTube videos. Now, when I started out, I was super unconfident. I had very low self-worth. I had imposter syndrome all the time. And now, 7 years later, I've learned so much along the way, and I've learned all these strategies and tools that I can use to be more confident. And now I feel like I genuinely do love myself. I genuinely have high self-worth. And now I get invited to give talks and do stuff live, and it's just super fun. And so in this video, I really want to share everything I've learned along the way. Hook, intro, and why I'm the person to do this. Crucially, you don't need to have major flex credentials. One major credential you could have is just the fact that you used to struggle with the thing, and now you don't struggle with it anymore. So you have learned something along the way. One of the things I don't like about YouTube is that it's very easy to think that you have to be a guru. A guru is someone who has all the answers. But I don't like being a guru. I prefer to be a guide. A guru says, this is what you should do. A guide says, hey, here's how I did it, and maybe it can work for you. And so reiterating in your intro that actually this topic is this thing that you've learned about, is something that you have personal experience in, that can really help viewers feel more relaxed, feel more like they can trust you. And it's a thing that you can just do for any video. Then you give them the value, which is point 1, point 2, and point 3, then you give them the end screen sales page. And now the video is done. And honestly, this is the level of prep I do for most of my videos. Point 1, point 2, and point 3. Maybe I'll write it out in Notion a bit. Maybe I'll add a few bullet points to be like, okay, competence equals confidence. Maybe I want to cite this study. I think I'll use Bandura's self-efficacy because I'm familiar with the research around it. Maybe I can talk about my book there. Yep, cool, that's fine. Affirmations and mantras. I can talk about manifestation and how that works. I can talk about Hebb's law in neuroscience, that neurons that fire together wire together. And so actually, if you repeat something often enough to yourself, you genuinely start to believe the thing. Okay, cool, yep, I can talk about that. So that makes it a bit juicier. And getting out of your own way, internal blockers. Well, I can talk about how 80% of all issues are emotional issues. When it comes to business, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to anything. I don't really have any data for that stat, but that's fine. And okay, cool, yep, I'm ready to film the video. This is literally the process that I use to make videos. And this is what I've been doing for the last 900 plus videos on my channel over the last 7 years. Because I found that when I have to spend freaking ages trying to research the topic, it takes the joy out of it. It makes it take way too long. Ideally, I would like to make a YouTube channel that is a guide. It's not a guru. A guide doesn't need to do research. A guide can just say, hey, I've done this thing, and here's what I've learned along the way, and I think I find it useful. Let's go into the Q&A now. Robert says, so Ali, if you were to write a new book after Feel Good Productivity, what would it be about? I'm really excited to share that wasn't in this one. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. I kind of want to draw a diagram here because I think there's something interesting here. There's like sort of this idea of what's your niche. So for example, if anyone knows who Ryan Holiday is, if you had to use one word to describe what Ryan Holiday does, what is that one word? He is the Stoicism guy. Because he's written loads and loads of books about Stoicism. He's known as the Stoicism guy. if you had to use one word to describe James Clear, what would that word be? Probably habits. He is the habits guy. If you had to use one word to describe Mark Manson, what would that word be? That word is fuck. No, it's obviously subtle. Subtle is the word that used to, habits is a very highly lucrative word to be known for. So James Clear makes loads of money for corporate speaking. Stoicism is pretty lucrative. The F word is not lucrative at all. So Mark Manson does not make any money doing corporate speaking gigs because it's not corporate friendly. Now, if you had to use one word to describe Ali Abdaal, what would that word be? I'm hoping you will say one word. And I'm hoping that word is productivity. And so when it comes to positioning your brand or your whatever as a thought leader, it's useful to figure out, like, what is the thing I want to be known for? What is the word? What is the phrase? Cal Newport. Well, he's kind of the deep work guy. Tim Ferriss. Well, whether he likes it or not, he's the 4-hour guy. Ramit Sethi, the I will teach you to be rich guy, or the money guy. It's useful to know what that thing is. And so just as a bit of an interactive thingy to the audience, if, like, 10 years from now, as you continue down your journey as an educational creator, what would you like people, what's the one word, phrase you'd like to be associated with your brand? So for me, I like being the productivity guy. That is highly lucrative. If I wanted to make money, I could do loads of, I can find lots of ways to monetize productivity. It's fun. I can reframe productivity and almost like redefine it to be not just about work, but about holistic time management and using your time well, blah, blah, blah. And so what I'm trying to figure out for my next book is, the first one is feel-good productivity. So feel-good productivity is the first one. And so the challenge is, how do I keep...
We chose Shopify because for us it was the quickest, easiest and most seamless method of getting our business online as quickly as possible.
Have an idea for a business but no idea how to get started? Skincare brand Delicious went from mixing moisturizers to shipping their first orders in just a few weeks. You won't need a single line of code to get your online shop up and running. Our customizable templates enable brands like Eva Shonake to create a distinct digital shopfront that's beautiful to look at and simple to use.
For me, as a direct-to-consumer brand, Shopify is really important because there's myself, my company, my team, our products, Eva Shonake, and there's the customer. And I feel that Shopify is like a bridge that kind of connects us, and that's all you need.
Whether it's secure transactions, running analytics, or selling your products on social media, with Shopify, you have everything you need to supercharge your business, all in one place. With the right tools in hand, you can focus on what you do best. Like coming up with your next big idea.
Keep the word productivity being my word, but like still do something that's interesting. So something I'm thinking about is like productive relationships is kind of interesting. Something about like how to not waste your life is kind of interesting. It's about productivity. So it's like I'm not really sure, but I would love any ideas if you can give me in the chat. Like, if you guys have any idea for a future book that I could do. Why is it that some of my videos will get 10,000 views and some won't even get 500? When I feel like I'm copying the same format each time, could it just be the topic? This is a big question. Why do some videos get more views than others? What we have found is that it basically comes down to the concept of the video. Now, I could make a video called How to Raise Your Self-Worth, and maybe it'll get 100,000 views. I could make a video called 5 passive income ideas for teenagers, how to make $10,000 a month in your sleep. Which of those do you think is going to get more views? Hint, it's not the one about self-care, because no one gives a shit about self-worth in relation to the amount of kids that there are on YouTube who want to learn how to make money. So a lot of it is down to the concept. And we have done so many analyses of the analytics on our channel. We have done interviews, we can do all the analysis. And we have found that honestly, the thing that makes a video get more views is just that the concept was more viral. The concept had more views. Like, the concept of the video, what the video is actually about, that sort of dictates the ceiling of how many views you could reasonably expect to get. If I searched YouTube and I was doing a video about self-worth, and I found that the most views anyone's ever got on a video about self-worth is like 50,000, my video is probably not going to break 50,000 views. But if I search YouTube for passive income ideas and I see that the videos with 30 million views, okay, that specific concept has a little bit more potential. The other thing to keep in mind, I've attended a lot of events hosted by YouTube. A lot of these like fancy invite-only YouTuber summit in Valencia, where the YouTube team and the algorithm team hangs out. And I've sat next to dinner with people who are literally engineers for the YouTube algorithm. And I always ask them about the algorithm. And there's one thing they always say: the algorithm is the audience, and content is king. The algorithm is the audience. When you're asking, why does the algorithm not ... just replace the word algorithm with the word audience. Why does the audience not like blah, 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 blah? Why does the audience not care about this particular video? Why does the audience not... And if you think about the real people that you're trying to target, the real people that are on the other end, paying to watch your video with their time and attention, that person could be spending time with their kids, but they're not. They're paying for that time to watch your video. What would that person want? And so that's the thing that we always like try and get to. This is the mantra that I read to myself whenever I film a video. I don't care about the performance of this video. My only goal in making it is to share a message that I think is worth sharing for whoever wants to hear it. This is going to sound a bit woo-woo, but I intend to integrate my mind, heart, and soul into this, and to share this message in a way that feels authentic and natural. 3, I am not trying to force anything here. I'm merely speaking from the heart, with the mind to inform structure and content, and the soul to remain connected to the purpose behind the video. I'm going to enjoy myself and treat this process with lightness and ease. When I'm on my deathbed, I'd give anything to be back here, in the present moment, doing what I love, sharing myself with the world in a way that's enjoyable and energizing. I'm going to keep that in mind and not treat this process with too much seriousness, heaviness, or importance. Because we're just filming fucking YouTube videos again at the end of the day, guys. Like, we don't need to be too serious about it. Finally, I'm speaking to an individual who really cares what I have to say, and who really wants to learn from me to level up their own life. I'm in service to that person, not to my own ego, not to the retention stats, not to the algorithm. I'm purely in service to the person who has clicked on this video and whose life can be genuinely changed by what I'm about to say. I read this to myself whenever I film a video, because it helps me appreciate that this is not about the views, it's not about the algorithm, it's not about like the thing, it's not about the outcome, it's about the fact that I can potentially share a message that has the potential to help at least one person, and I can do that in a way that's fun. And by staying core to that truth, yeah, there's all this shit around like the titles and the thumbnails and the strategy and all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff is kind of secondary to the value that I'm potentially hoping to give to the person on the other end of the screen, and the fact that I'm enjoying the process while doing so. How do we outsource our editing? Where can we find people to edit? There is a method here. This is the method. You want to create a job description where you give people a trial task. And the trial task that I recommend for all our students in our YouTube Academy, is you upload raw footage of yourself speaking to the camera, like a raw, the thing straight out of the camera from your video. You upload it to a Google Drive or a Dropbox or whatever, and you find editors, and the trial task should be to just edit the first 60 seconds of that video in your style. Then, as you get people applying for that job, they're submitting their application, which is the first 60 seconds of the edit, and that means you can instantly judge, is this video editor actually good or are they pretty crap? Now, then the next question becomes, okay, now how do you get people to actually see that? How do you get people to apply? Well, if you have an audience, it's easy. You just put it out to your audience. You put out an Instagram story, a YouTube community post, a newsletter issue, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever the thing might be. And you say to your audience, hey guys, I'm looking for a video editor. If you're interested, apply here. If you don't have an audience, it's tricky because now you have to go to a place where video editors hang out. So you could go to ytjobs.com, YouTube Jobs. You could go to Upwork. You could go to Fiverr. You could go to People Per Hour. People Per Hour is the one I recommend. People Per Hour is how I found my first editor when I didn't put it out to my audience. I'm going to give you a few benchmarks. If you currently outsource your editing, how much in US dollars do you pay for a video to be edited? How much do you pay in US dollars for a video to be edited? In my experience, $50 per video gets you a really bad video editor. Yes, you can find a diamond in the rough, but you're going to spend ages trying to find there might be a 13-year-old kid in Pakistan who will do it for $50 a video, but you're going to be going through loads and loads and loads and loads of 13-year-old kids in Pakistan to find someone who's really good at $50 per video. I think around sort of 100 to 150, you can get a reasonable editor, probably in a country where the US dollar is particularly strong. $100 to $150 per video. That gets you a reasonable editor. When you're getting into about 200 to 300, you get a good editor. When you get to about 500, you get a very good editor. And we currently pay £1,000, which is $1,300, to our editors, which gives you world class. This to me is the sort of the spectrum of the amount you pay for video editing. When I first started trying to outsource editing, I tried to do $50 a video, and I tried one person, and they were terrible, and I was like, oh, no one can edit videos like I can. I should just keep editing my own videos. And I kept editing my own videos for like ages. When I moved to paying 100 to 150 per video, that was when I got an editor that was actually quite good. I would say it was good rather than reasonable. I found him on people per hour. People per hour. These numbers, it's all like, how much is your time worth, right? Like, for me, my business is huge, so of course I can pay $1,300 per video. Back when I was working as a doctor, my channel, I think, was making about $3K a month. And so, of course, I could afford to pay $150 per video because my channel was making $3K a month. It just sort of depends on your circumstances. You could probably find, I'm from Pakistan, so let's say I was actually living in Pakistan. I would find a local video editor super cheap, but it would take me ages to find a local video editor because most people are not very good, just in general. This is not just in Pakistan, just like in general, most people are not very good at the thing I'm trying to do. A few people are very good, and those few people know how much their worth is, so it would take me a while to find the editor. Essentially, there's this balance. The more money you're willing to pay for an editor, the less time you have to spend finding that person and dealing with that person and feeding back on their videos. The less money you're willing to pay for an editor, the more you have to pay for that in terms of time, because it's going to take way longer to find that person. This is roughly for like 10 to 20 minute long videos. Most editors don't charge by the minute, and about a 10 to 20 minute long video. Another context that might be interesting, for 2 hour long episodes of our podcast, we pay $600 to our podcast video editor to do a whole podcast edit, but yeah, hope that helps. Okay, cool, next question. Was it easy for you to be yourself when you started your channel, or did you try to be someone else? Great question. Actually, the person I tried to be was Peter McKinnon. I have so much love for Peter McKinnon. I love the guy. Peter McKinnon is a big part of why I started the YouTube channel. Peter McKinnon made photo and video tutorials fun. He added personality to the whole thing. And he made me feel like, oh, I'm learning Lightroom, I'm learning Photoshop, I'm learning how to use a camera and stuff. And I'm enjoying the process. And so I would watch Peter McKinnon's vlogs all the time. I'd watch all of his videos. And I thought, okay, can I be the Peter McKinnon of med school? Can I make talking about boring topics? good at? What do you think I'm good at? If you had a question about something, like, what are the sorts of things you might, like your friends and family might want to learn from you? And what is it about you that they would want to learn? Maybe you're particularly good at like empathy, and so you can teach people about emotional intelligence. Maybe the fact that you've been working in SaaS sales for the last 20 years is like means that you know a lot about how B2B sales work. So you can do a YouTube channel talking about that, leaning into your unfair advantage. What I personally feel is that the more you can lean into advantages that you already have, the more likely you are to grow on YouTube. I don't know how we got to that point, but yeah. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the video. If you have gotten to this point, you probably care about growing a YouTube channel. And so, firstly, could I request that if you have anything specific that you'd like to know about, please can you leave a comment down below, because I want to make way more videos helping people be creators, because I love this stuff and it's my jam and it's just really fun to talk about. So if you could leave a comment on this video with whatever you're struggling with, I can try my best to make a video on that topic. And actually, if you do want a more comprehensive video about what I would do if I was starting a channel completely from scratch today, then check out this video over here. Thanks for watching and see you later. Bye-bye. Bye.